Peng, Toto, welcome to CNBC and thanks so much for joining us today. So Peng, first to you, talk to me about this G42 partnership with Mercedes F1. What does it involve?
Dan, first, thank you so much for having Toto and myself on your program today. Real pleasure to be here. We are very excited about this partnership with Toto and his team. I believe today we live in a world of O2O integration, online, offline integration, where the virtual world and material world are merging together. G42 is a leader in the digital domain of artificial intelligence and big data. And of course, Toto's team is a global leader in the physical world of automotive racing. We believe in coming together. These two leaders can create tremendous synergy to push the boundary of performance, both in the digital and the physical world. And I believe we'll challenge each other also to make new breakthroughs in our respective domains. We look forward to this deep engagement with Toto's team.
And so, Toto, what's in this for Mercedes F1 and how are you putting some of this technology to use?
So Formula One has always been about engineering, but also the interaction with the human. And G42 and Abu Dhabi have a very ambitious project here in creating a leading AI company. There's a lot of research and development that's happening here. And we believe that this can really, the cooperation can really accelerate us in terms of the specific needs, learning what makes the car faster and what is it really that the engineers need in terms of understanding of what the driver does, and AI is a very helpful tool in that part.
So help me understand that a little bit more, because there are no shortage of use cases when it comes to AI in F1, whether it's car performance or driver safety or even race outcomes. Where do you see artificial intelligence actually taking the future of racing?
I think, contrary to what you would think, the AI is still very limited in Formula One because the interaction with the human is very different to capture. There is an infinite amount of sensors in the driver, and there is an infinite amount of information that comes from the car into the engineers. And now you have these two factors that are so difficult to grasp that I believe it's much easier to scan all of the internet and compress it and have an efficient artificial tool rather than collecting all this data that are important to translate what the driver needs from the machine and what the machine needs from the driver. So we are developing with G42 specific new areas where we believe they can have a real impact on lap time. And this is something that hasn't been done before.
And Peng, do you think that this type of technology and the developments that G42 has made is going to be able to give Mercedes F1 some kind of an edge on the track?
Absolutely, I believe in this, and I echo what Toto just said. The application of AI in the racing world is actually in its infancy. It's only the beginning. If you see the recent revolution around ChatGPT, for example, overnight, we discovered the possibility of how language models can change the way we interact and communicate. But that's only in the language domain. When you begin to apply, as Toto mentioned, the infinite possibilities of human performance, mixed interface with machines like a F1 car, we can do so much more. So we believe there are three major elements of applying AI to racing. Number one, you need tremendous computing power, the infrastructure, the muscle to do computational workload. Second, you need great scientists and also great drivers and domain experts in F1 to work together, define those use cases, and apply this computing muscle to work. And finally, you need a huge amount of data. The data Toto mentioned coming from different sensors, human sensors and machine sensors, to fuse them together and give us the solution we need in different use case scenarios. So we are very confident with this partnership, we can deliver real breakthroughs.
And Peng, you mentioned ChatGPT, so let's just take a step back here because it seems like every week there's a new release in AI that seems paradigm shifting. This technology is going to have implications for education, for jobs, for governments, for national security. How should we regulate AI to ensure that these risks don't outweigh the rewards?
I think the regulation of AI has to start with a deeper understanding of what AI is actually capable of. As I mentioned, 6 months ago, we didn't know what conversational AI would be capable of. Today, we know so much more. The only way for regulation to catch up with AI development is to actually encourage more development and stay in touch with the development and explore cutting-edge use cases. What's different now with ChatGPT, if I may give you a bit more background, is that we entered a new phase of AI development in the sense of generative AI. From previous simple study of patterns, make basic predictions, now we can create new knowledge domains through AI. This is where we need to put our focus. We believe, again, the partnership with Toto's team will give us a very well-defined domain and boundaries to actually get into deep use cases, and that feedback will help regulators to better understand the possibilities and better regulate AI accordingly.
And Toto, I know this is a bit outside your wheelhouse, but what's your view on this? What impact do you think AI is going to have on the future role of the driver, for example? And can technology like this perhaps even replace good human judgment or the strategist on the pit wall? Are we going to see jobs being taken away as a result of this new technology?
So I wouldn't be able to even tell you a fraction of what Peng knows about the regulatory environment. Like you, I'm studying it a little bit and I'm reading, and obviously this is an area where every step needs to be well considered because we don't know the consequences. As for our specific business, the use cases are really purely technical and are very interesting because infinite amount of information. A race engineer needs to take a decision on after giving training session about what he wants the car to do, and the same the driver. So this is a very human-based analog decision that's being made, obviously supported by simulations back in the factory. But we believe, based on historic data that we have, that this learning process can be accelerated tremendously. I believe that because it is humans that interact, we will always need the engineering power. Where we are with AI, computer wouldn't be able, or machine wouldn't be able to drive a car. There have been exercises done around that. I think the computer was 7 seconds slower on a lap of about a minute, because simply the human is still superior, much superior in his abilities and his sensors than any computer. Because also there's an infinite number of inputs that need to be that the driver needs to react upon. So I believe that good news for drivers. It's going to take a long time to maneuver a car on the edge of the grip level, and the same with the engineers. As long as you speak, you need a person that actually shows emotion, that is able to understand what the driver means. I think we're still in a safe place with our group of engineers and the drivers.
And final question for you both. Peng, I wanted to ask you about the business more broadly as well. G42 has had a really big year so far with the Prix IPO. Also, it was revealed that you have a stake in ByteDance, and there's a number of challenges around that. But beyond the Formula One ecosystem, what is G42 looking for now when it comes to future investments and deals? What's your strategy here?
Our strategy really is twofold, Dan. First, as I mentioned earlier, we are building a computational platform, the infrastructure. This is where we build a foundation that would enable all sorts of deep domain experiments, such as the ones we'll be doing together with Toto's team. Without this foundational infrastructure, it's impossible to advance in different vertical domains. This is where you need the computing power, you need great scientists and great domain experts. And we are very lucky in the UAE. There is a national focus on AI program, and we are able to amass such infrastructural resources. The second part of strategy is then to find the right partners, actually go deep and deliver industry solutions. For example, going beyond the foundational language model of our friends at OpenAI, which is to support general conversational advancements, but go into, say, customer service, go into the energy sector to deliver highly valuable industry solutions. In this case, we believe we can do something amazing in the world of automotive racing. So this is how we look at this whole AI program going forward.
And Toto, before I let you go, what can fans expect out of Azerbaijan this weekend?
Yeah, just let me add one sentence to Peng. What is so interesting for us that G42 and the ambition in Abu Dhabi is not a speedboat, but it's actually a race boat like our cars. It's so agile, and this is where we can accelerate our learning in AI. And we have great partnerships in the United States with leading companies, but I think the speed that we can deploy here in their interaction with some of our other partners is so exciting. As for Baku, yeah, a little pit stop here in Abu Dhabi over the day with some interesting meetings with Peng and his team, and continuing my journey, and will arrive there in the night. And it's an interesting weekend because we will have a sprint qualifying weekend where basically there's only one free practice session, and then you go straight into the Grand Prix qualifying. So I wish we would be already 1 year into our collaboration with G42, because it would mean that we can learn quicker from this single one session. And then let's see what happens there. And we're still not where we want to be. We've had a good race in Melbourne. We've been on the podium, but our ambition, without any sense of entitlement, is to race for victories and eventually a championship again.
Well, Toto, we're wishing you the best of luck this weekend. Thank you so much for joining us here on CNBC. And Peng, same to you. We really appreciate you being here. Thanks again, and looking forward to speaking with you both soon.